In this video, we're going to be giving you an update on some of our favourite couples from 90 Day Fiancé. Stay tuned to find out the painful update from Anna and Mursel. And what's this about Nicole, Azan and prison time? Why was Annie desperate to leave the States? We'll reveal all, but first, Loren and Alexei. New York native Loren met Alexei during her birthright trip to Israel when he was the medic for the getaway. After 2 years of long distance dating, the pair got engaged, much to the concern of both sets of parents. You see, Alexei's parents weren't happy about him leaving Israel, and Loren's parents were skeptical about Alexei being a foreigner. Loren also struggled with how to break the news about her Tourette syndrome to Alexei's family. There was also drama with strippers. Alexei specifically asked Loren not to celebrate her bachelorette party at a strip club, even though he had celebrated his own bachelor party at one. Ignoring Alexei's request, Loren went to a strip club with her friends, only for her and her friends to fall out with Alexei because of it.
Why are you so angry at me?
Because I was disrespected like that.
And during the season, we also saw a very high-strung Loren trying to push Alexei into an underwear modelling career, although it was clear to viewers that he was more interested in becoming an EMT, a firefighter or a policeman.
He's gonna end up loving this.
I mean, I don't know, I don't really feel it. It's not like fun, I'm not enjoying it. I know Loren's intentions are good, she's trying to help with everything, but pushing me more and more to model is not gonna be good for us, because that's not something I want to do.
Now, despite the huge fight on their wedding day, the pair seem to be a rare success story for the show. After 6 years of marriage, Loren and Alexei now have 2 children with a 1-year age gap between the pair. They welcomed their first son, Shy Joseph, in April 2020, and their second son, little Asher Noah, was born in August of 2021. Asher's birth was a little scarier than Shy's. He arrived earlier than expected and had to spend 22 days in the newborn intensive care unit, which must have been a very scary experience. Due to COVID restrictions, in the days directly after his birth, only one parent at a time was allowed inside the intensive care unit, and Loren shared a number of emotional posts on IG during those days while she was at home, but Asher was still in the hospital.
We're gonna go see him later today, and I hope that you all have a fabulous Friday.
Thankfully, after 22 days he was able to go home and he's now doing very well. But due to his size when he was born, they've given him the nickname Baby Botan, which seems to have stuck. The word Botan in Hebrew means peanut. Loren's postpartum journey has also had its challenges, and she's been very open about suffering from postpartum depression.
I'd be lying if I said that I was okay. Postpartum depression is a very real thing. And honestly, I'm not okay. And I know it's okay to not be okay.
She also took to IG to encourage her fans to, quote, put yourself first and do what you want to do. So what was it that she wanted to do? Well, it seems she wanted to get a tattoo. While baby Asher was still in the intensive care unit, she filmed herself getting inked on her forearm with a tattoo of an evil eye. In the Middle East, the evil eye is a symbol used for protection against envious and jealous people. But the tattoo attracted a mixed response from her fans, and some of them seem to think she's either symbolising the Illuminati, while others seem to imply that by inking it on her arm, she's actually absorbing or attracting bad luck. But it's clearly a meaningful symbol to Loren, because she also incorporates the evil eye into a lot of products that she sells on her website. Speaking of protection, Alexei has now apparently started working as a medic in the States, which made him an essential worker during the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, he was also caught on camera saving a drowning man's life while the couple were on vacation in the Bahamas. While on the beach, he and his friend noticed that a drunk man was struggling to stay above water. They were able to dive in and pull the man back to shore, saving his life. The family now live in Florida, and while it's not been long since the birth of baby number 2, it seems there might be more on the cards, so keep your eyes peeled. Loren has told fans, quote, "We're going to see how 2 under 2 goes first, but you never know." Speaking of babies, let's find out about Anna and Mursel. Beekeepers Anna from Nebraska and Mursel from Turkey met up on a beekeeping group on Facebook, and despite the language barrier, love blossomed. But cultural differences and parental acceptance played a huge factor in their relationship. For a start, Mursel came from a strict Muslim background and hid from his parents the fact that Anna had 3 sons from a previous relationship. And although Anna knew about this, and in fact she herself kept her kids secret from Mursel's family when she visited them in Turkey, eventually the guilt caught up with her and she demanded that Mursel tell his family, otherwise she wouldn't marry him. So Mursel came clean. His parents, however, told him to break up with Anna and return to Turkey immediately, which, much to their dismay and their heartbreak, he did. However, in a dramatic about turn, at literally the last moment with just 2 hours left on his visa, he returned to the States having got his parents to give him their blessing, and the two were able to get married in Anna's back garden. But as I'm sure you'll remember, Mursel's relationship with Anna's kids wasn't the best, and Anna's eldest son, Joey, refused to attend the wedding.
My relationship with Mursel is nothing, doesn't matter. He's just there, and I don't care to get along with Mursel before the wedding.
Now, since marrying their mum, Mursel and the kids have apparently got closer, although that hasn't stopped Mursel from wanting his own kids. And in a bid to boost their fertility, Mursel and Anna both went on a high-fat, low-carb keto diet to help shed some pounds. But the plan wasn't to get pregnant the usual way. In fact, when we last caught up with the pair on 90 Day Diaries, they revealed that they'd started the process to find a surrogate. And much to the dismay of viewers, when Anna and Mursel revealed their plans to Gino and Leo, their response was not what the couple were hoping for.
So, you guys have some really good news.
What is it?
Did you get married to somebody else? No, I didn't get married.
You guys having a divorce?
This kind of exposed an unhealthy family dynamic, and Anna revealed,
I'm not pregnant, but Mursel and I are going to try to have a baby.
Now, the whole surrogacy thing is a bit of a strange issue. It's not just Anna's kids who are uncomfortable with it. Mursel has decided that he wants to keep it secret from his family. Considering how the whole keeping it a secret thing went the first time he lied to his family, I don't think that's a great idea, do you? Someone needs to remind them that they're on a reality TV show. You've really got to question their thought process here. Anyway, after driving to New York for the egg retrieval, they've now identified and signed all necessary paperwork with a Ukrainian lady who will act as the surrogate mother. Now, there's been some backlash on Reddit and Instagram in particular about why they'd choose someone so far away, but the reason is likely to be financial, with the cost of a surrogacy in the US ranging from $90,000 to $130,000, whereas in the Ukraine, it costs just $30,000. Now, besides their domestic bliss, Anna and Mursel are still working as beekeepers, which, judging by a few of Anna's posts, can be quite painful. She shared some of her more painful looking stings, but clearly they're very good at it because together the couple now run their own company selling their produce, called Beauty and the Bees. They offer natural, high quality honey based products including teas, candles and cosmetics. And I'm really happy for them. I hope their business does well. It's so nice to see them put their passion and expertise to good use and launch a real company with a storefront, as opposed to the path that so many other 90 Day stars go down, like selling out to sleazy marketing companies, promoting fake weight loss pills, or selling adult pictures on OnlyFans. Speaking of which, let's catch up with Nicole and Azan. Oh boy. From pretty much the first moment we met Nicole and Azan, it was obvious to all except Nicole that Azan wasn't really into her.
Yeah. Physically I'm attracted to Nicole, but it's not like, just like, for example, 55%.
From calling her lazy and arguing about her health and eating habits, to using her as an ATM machine, including, amongst other payments, a $6,000 lump sum to supposedly open a beauty store, only for it to never materialise.
Nicole put on this business around $6,000 and I put like 500.
You know, I'd like to see that it's for real.
Mom, there is a shop. It is happening.
And while the cultural differences clearly played a role in their problems, Azan seemed to not really care about hurting Nicole's feelings. For example, do you remember when they planned to go away on vacation together? Nicole paid for everything for him, but he cancelled on her at literally the last minute without any explanation. It was almost too painful to watch.
What'd you say? Whatever you're doing right now is a little messed up.
Add to the mix the fact that Nicole cheated and Azan was caught flirting with other women, and you've got the makings of a very shaky relationship. For her part, Nicole didn't exactly cover herself in glory by having her daughter May call Azan daddy from the very first time she met him.
Hi, how are you? Do you know me?
It's Daddy.
Yeah.
And she also came under fire for seemingly always prioritising Azan. Perfect example of that? Well, her trip to Morocco in March of 2020. You see, Nicole quit her job at Starbucks to visit Azan just as the coronavirus was really beginning to take hold around the world. And when global travel restrictions were introduced, Nicole ended up being stranded in Morocco for 5 months. All the while, her daughter May was left back in the States, being looked after by her mum Robbie. To make matters worse, Reddit detectives who were analysing all of her Instagram posts at the time claimed she wasn't even staying with Azan or his family. She was apparently hauled up alone in an Airbnb. Whether or not that was true, fans blasted Nicole for what they saw as irresponsible parenting. And that included fellow cast member Laura, who replied on one of Nicole's Instagram posts saying, quote, "Nicole, honestly, you need to return to your daughter. Do not make the same mistakes that I did. She needs her mum and these men are just users. He has a wife and children. Forget this loser and come back home to the people who really love you." Now, about that claim that Azan has a wife and child, Laura was referring to the rumour that's been widely circulated online that Azan is actually married to his cousin and that they have 3 kids together. Some even go as far as to claim that the $6,000 Nicole gave Azan to supposedly open up a beauty store, which of course never opened, was actually Nicole trying to pay off Azan's wife. For the record though, these rumours were always denied by the pair, and Nicole snapped back at Laura saying, quote, "I'm sorry for what happened to you, but please make no mistake, my situation is not yours. Being a cast member, you should know more than anyone to not believe the rumours told by liars. I miss my daughter more than anyone can know, and no one knows how much me and her call each other." It was only after Morocco issued an emergency ruling kicking out all foreigners out of their country that Nicole had no option but to return to the States. The problem was, when she got back, she had no job. So, perhaps unsurprisingly given her large following and need for money, she fell prey to some pretty shady marketing companies. Let me explain. If you follow her on Instagram, you've no doubt noticed that she's forever posting misleading content and encouraging her fans to click to read articles on different websites. Examples include posts pretending she's pregnant when she wasn't. There's been posts about her co-star Angela Deem implying that she was about to die, which of course she wasn't, and other fake death posts including one that hinted at her own death and one that implied Azan had died. All were fake. This hasn't gone down too well with her fans who have turned on her, but at least she's honest about it. She said, quote, "I work for a company that posts articles to my account and I get paid per so many clicks." How else is she making money? Well, she's also opened a Cameo page to sell personalised videos to fans. And I'm guessing the earnings from this must have been fairly good because not long after, her mum also opened up a Cameo. The difference being, Robbie has stated her earnings will be put into a fund for May, probably a wise move. So what's the latest with Nicole and Azan's relationship? Well, in July of 2021, after 5 years together and 2 failed K1 visa applications, Nicole revealed to In Touch magazine that their relationship was officially over. Quote, "Azan and I have decided to go our separate ways. We have much love and respect for each other, but we weren't without our faults. Unfortunately, we can no longer continue our journey together." Now, it's not entirely clear what the final straw was, but it seems Nicole is now putting herself and her daughter first, posting that she's, quote, "moving forward" and, quote, "creating a better life for herself." About time, Nicole, about time. She's also revealed that she's now enrolled as a student at the State College of Florida, working on the prerequisites needed to eventually take the radiology program. And it seems she's also ready to get back into the dating game, with her dating profile being spotted on Hinge. Her bio reads, quote, "All I ask is that you send me a message first and let's see if we vibe." I'm just hoping she has higher standards this time. Unfortunately, not everything in Nicole's life seems to be back on track. In the past couple of years, Nicole has been dealing with some very serious family issues. As you might remember, it was Nicole's dad, Tyler, who agreed to co-sponsor Azan for his visa. Since then, things have changed quite dramatically for Tyler. He's been arrested about 10 times in just 2 years and has spent quite a bit of time homeless. In November 2020, Tyler was sentenced to 157 days behind bars after stealing more than $750 worth of hygiene products from a CVS. 6 months after having served his jail time, Tyler was arrested again. In June, he was sentenced to 90 days in jail and put on 12 months probation, after this time being found guilty of grand theft. The charges come after a series of thefts which took place at various home improvement stores, with allegedly thousands of dollars of goods apparently being stolen. I really hope he can take a leaf out of Nicole's book and get his life back on track. Now, before we move on to Robert and Anny, do me a favour. Making these update videos takes a long time to research, write and edit, so if you've made it to this point in the video, take just 2 seconds to show me you're enjoying it by hitting that like button, and if you haven't already done so, consider subscribing for lots more 90 Day Fiancé videos. Okay, so let's talk about Robert and Anny. We first met Robert and Anny back in 2019 on season 7. The pair fell head over heels, having connected on Facebook, leading to Robert popping the question within 8 hours of their first meeting. Why the rush? Well, Robert booked a cruise that only had a 1-day stopover in Anny's home country of the Dominican Republic, and as he explains,
"Anny and I only spent 8 hours together, but it was the best 8 hours in my life."
I don't know what they got up to in those 8 hours, but boy must it have been good. When she arrived in the States, Anny soon learnt that Uber driver Robert, a father of 5 from 4 different women, had lots of responsibilities and he wasn't able to fund the lifestyle that she may have been expecting, which wasn't entirely her fault, as Robert had lied to her before her arrival, telling her he only had 3 kids. Of course, Robert's friends and family were also skeptical about Anny's intentions, which fiery Anny wasn't about to take lying down.
You tell me you have 3 kids. 1 month before I came here, you tell me you have 5. You don't know my life. I don't do that. I'm tired of that. Think whatever you want, do whatever you want. Bye. I'm tired of that.
Damn.
Still, the road to love isn't always easy, and it's even harder when interfering grandmothers get involved. Who can forget the infamous checkbook scene with Bryson's porn star grandmother offering Anny $15,000 to leave the US?
Why don't I write you a check and buy your plane ticket back to the Dominican Republic?
Crazy? You don't have to buy me.
Now, Robert and grandmother Stephanie, who incidentally claims that the entire scene was faked, but yeah, Robert and Stephanie have a very strange relationship. Let me explain. On the tell-all, you might remember how it was revealed Stephanie had sent Robert nude photos. She claimed it was a mistake and the photos were actually intended for her husband Ben. But Robert doesn't seem to accept that, and his issues with her go deeper still. he revealed how at his time of need, following an apartment fire that left him and his son Bryson homeless for 2 months, Stephanie was nowhere to be seen. While she presented herself as a caring and loving grandparent, Robert claims she didn't even offer for Bryson to stay at her home. Now, although Stephanie and Annie didn't seem to agree about much, one thing they do have in common is the fact that both have been with other women. Stephanie for her job and Annie for her pleasure. When the couple appeared on Bears All, Annie opened up about her sexuality, saying that she's been with, quote, maybe 3 or 4 women in the past, but she denied that she's bisexual. Of course, this was quite a big sticking point for Robert on the show, who wanted Annie to be, quote, a one-woman man, whereas Annie was more interested in going to strip clubs and spicing up their love life with threesomes.
Yes, you like it?
Threesomes?
That's a nice surprise.
It's not a nice surprise at all. That's not something that I want. That's not something that I want in my household. That's not something that I want around my kid.
And although it certainly seemed like the pair were mismatched in lots of ways, since getting married, they seem to be in a really good place, and they've been proving their doubters wrong. Not only are they still together, but despite the odds, they've also been expanding their happy family, having had 2 babies within the short span of just 13 months. You might remember how Annie was actually really worried that due to fertility issues she wouldn't be able to conceive, but it seems she had no need to worry because she's now the proud mother of a girl named Brenda Aaliyah and a boy named Adriel Hassan. Her plan had originally been to give birth to her son in the Dominican Republic so that she could have her family by her side. But of course, when the pandemic hit and she wasn't able to travel, she had to change those plans and give birth in the States instead. It seems the pregnancy was actually quite a tough one, and for a long time Annie wasn't even able to walk straight due to back pain. She apparently suffered from sciatica before the pregnancy, but it got a lot worse whilst carrying her second child. Still, Robert was full of praise following the birth, taking to Instagram to show his admiration, saying, quote, "Much love and respect to my wife, who's the true warrior and gave birth to our baby boy, 9 pounds 3 ounces and 21 inches long." Of course, this now brings Robert's tally to 7 kids with 5 different women. Whilst Bryson lives with him, Annie, Brenda and Adriel, sadly Robert has admitted that he doesn't get to see his other 4 kids very often. Annie has said it's now time to draw a line and she has no plans for any more kids. But with Robert, you just never know, right? On screen now, you'll see links to some of my other 90 Day Fiancé update videos, which will bring you up to speed with what's been happening with some of my other favourite couples from the show. It's safe to say there's been a lot of drama since you last saw them on your screens, so go ahead, take a look, and if you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for lots more videos. Thank you for watching, catch you on the next video.